Good morning to students. Today we are going to discuss about polar line coding methods in digital transmission, that is digital to digital transmission. So in polar line coding methods we are having non-return zero, polar non-return zero line coding method. In polar non-return zero line coding method, the voltages are on both sides of the coordinate axis or time axis. So the voltages are on both sides of the time axis. The polar non-return zero scheme can be implemented with two voltages, both the voltages. Example, positive for 1 and negative for 0. There are two versions in polar line coding method. First version is non-return 0 level, and second version non-return 0 inversion. In non-return 0 level, that is in first one, positive voltage for one symbol and negative voltage for another symbol, that is assigned and static, which is not altered. But in second one, the change or lack of change in polarity determines the value of a symbol. Example, a 1 symbol inverts the polarity, a 0 does not inverse. That is, in non-return inversion, one is always represented when voltage changes from either positive to negative or negative to positive. If the symbol is continuous, that is nothing but if there is no voltage change, whether the symbol digital signal that is continuously either in positive or continuously either in negative, you can represent that as 0. If that is altering from positive to negative or from negative to positive, we can represent it with one value. So, if there is a voltage change, that is 1. If there is no voltage change, that is 0 in non-return 0 inverse. But in non-return 0 level, that is fixed. One for negative voltage and another one for positive voltage. For example, if you are considering 1 for positive, 0 is for negative. So, these are the two in polar non-return 0. So, you can see here. First method is no inversion, take next bit is 0. If there is an inversion, next bit is 1. So first one is non-return 0 level. So always 0 is positive, 1 is negative. If there is 0, you have to represent positive quadrant. If there is 1, you can represent in negative quadrant. So that is the non-return 0 level representation. 0 up, 1 down. That is 0 positive, 1 negative. But when you are coming to non-return 0 inverse, here if there is a signal change, then that is 1. So here 1 is represented, a change from positive to negative. And this is continuous. These are zeros, so signal is in negative only, there is no change. When the signal is again changed from negative to positive, there is 1. That is 1. Signal is from negative to positive. And again signal is from positive to negative, 1. And signal is from negative to positive, 1. And again, if there is a 0, that is same. That is in which portion the signal that is existing, either in positive partition or in negative partition, that is same. That is here you can see. Signal is in positive, that is from negative to positive represented with 1. So that is continuous because the next bit is 0. Next bit is 0 means signal is also existing in the positive partition, positive quadrant only. So there is a lot of change between these two types of methods, non-return 0 level and non-return 0 inverse. In level, signal is always represented with static values. If that is positive, 0. If the bit is 1, then automatically comes to negative. If bit is 0, go to positive. But here, when you are coming to non-return 0 inversion, when there is a voltage change, when there is a bit 1, voltage change can exist. When there is a 0 bit, there is no voltage change. So here voltage changes are represented with solid zeros and continuous signals are represented with hollow zeros, means empty zeros. So this is the representation. When we are coming to the repressive graph representation, signal noise ratio is n by 2, frequency n, and this is the function. The bandwidth of the signal always vary from 0 to 1, maximum is 1 and minimum is 0. And signal noise ratio, we are considering n by 2, that is you can consider 2 bits per sample. Next, in non-return 0 level, the level of the voltage determines the value of the bit. In non-return 0 inverse or lack of inversion determines the value of the bit. That is, in non-return 0, the level, either positive level or negative level, that represents the bit, whether 0 or 1. But in non-return 0 inversion, the voltage inversion represents the bit value, but here the voltage level represents the bit value. Here the voltage in non-return 0 inversion, voltage change represents the bit value, that is bit value. If there is a change, 1. If there is no change, 0. But in non-return 0 level, always, whether that is positive, 0. If that is negative, 1. That is fixed. So this is the change between these two methods. And next, non-return 0 level and non-return 0 inverse both have an average signal rate of n by 2 baud. Signal is always measured in bauds, that is number of samples. So the signal rate is always n by 2, number of samples by 2. That is, we are considering 2 bits, either 0 or 1. So baud rate is always n by 2, number of bauds per sample by bits per baud. Bits are 2 bits, number of samples are n. Non-return 0 level and non-return 0 inversion both have a DC component, that is direct current component, current component, already we have discussed in previous one problem, and baseline battery. This is worse for non-return 0 level, that is DC component, direct current component. This always represents whether the voltage may be altered at any instant, automatically signal content can be altered. So for this problem there is no synchronization. If there is a DC component, there is no synchronization. If there is no synchronization, we cannot evaluate the amount of data in the signal accurately. So for this disadvantage, both have no self-synchronization and no error detection methods in these two methods, in these two polar line coding methods. So for that purpose, we are not using these methods. Better for signal representation for data transfer. So both are relatively simple to implement but having the disadvantage in processing. So we are migrating from non-return 0 methods to return 0 methods, that is polar return 0. The return 0 scheme uses 3 voltages, not only positive and negative. Here we are considering neutral voltage also. Each symbol has a transition in the middle, either from high to 0 or from low to 0. That is, first the signal voltage should come to neutral state, either from positive or from negative. This scheme has more signal transitions and therefore requires a wider bandwidth. So this allows more number of signal changes, so occupies maximum bandwidth, because here we are representing the sample that may come positive to negative or negative to positive in previous method. But here we are considering the signal itself is divided into 2. That is, that should come from positive to negative and again positive to neutral and next come from neutral to negative. So one sample itself is divided into 2 partitions. So automatically it can occupy maximum bandwidth. But here the main advantage of return 0 is there is no DC components or baseline wanderings, but this can allow self-synchronization with a transition with a symbol value. But there is no error detection capability. So when we are seeing the line coding methods, first we have to check whether there is any DC component or any baseline wandering. If there are existing, that method is not suitable. But here we are not preventing both disadvantages. We are removing DC component and baseline wandering, but we are not adding error detection and correction methods to polar return 0 line coding method, but this can prevent the initial disadvantage. So more complex as it uses 3 voltage levels, but using 3 voltages, that is more complex. It has no error detection capability. So disadvantages are not completely avoided, but to some extent those can be avoided here. That is allowing synchronization, avoiding DC component. So representing signal in polar return 0 scheme. So a 0 bit is from negative to neutral and next from neutral to 0. Neutral to, that is sorry, neutral to positive. And a 1 bit is from positive to neutral and neutral to negative. So whenever in the sample there is any data bit that is existing, we are fixing statistically the sample representation for 0 and 1. 0 is negative to neutral, neutral to positive. 1 is positive to neutral, neutral to negative. So whenever there is a 0 bit or whenever there is a 1 bit, you have to represent in this manner. So 0 is represented here, 1 is represented, again there is a 0. So again you have to come to from positive to neutral already. 1 is from positive to neutral, neutral to negative. So signal is in negative. So 0 has to be represented here. When the next bit is 1. When the next bit is 1, we have to consider signal should be converted from transmitted to positive for starting. So for that one, from 0, which is in neutral state, we have to go to the positive. Again, you have to start from positive only. And similarly, if the signal is existing at any state, when we are representing bit 1, if the next bit is 0, you have to start from negative. So negative to neutral. And again when next bit is 0, again from negative to neutral. When the next bit is positive, you can come from 1, you can come from positive to neutral. So 0 negative to neutral, 1 positive to neutral. So here we are considering 0, 1 negative to neutral. When the next bit is 1, again you have to move to positive and next start from positive to neutral. So this is how we are altering the signal, but this is little bit confusing when you are comparing with the previous two methods, but this is advantageous because there is no DC component, that is signal cannot be interrupted and not inaccurate. But here coming to the signal rate, the average signal rate is n because this is occupying the double bandwidth than the normal previous signal, because here we are considering alterations can exist in each bit, but in previous one there is no alterations in bit intervals. Next, polar biphase Manchester and differential Manchester encoding methods. In Manchester, coding consists of combining the non-return 0 level and return 0 schemes. Every symbol has a level transition in the middle from high to low or low to high. Uses only 2 voltage levels, not 3. Either high to low or low to high. Differential Manchester means this consists of combining non-return 0 inverse and return 0 schemes, combination of. Every symbol has a level transition in the middle, but the level at the beginning of the symbol is determined by the symbol value. One symbol causes a level change, the other does not. That is, in inversion we are considering. That is, There is a signal change 1. There is no signal change 0. We are using that method here and combining that with the return 0 coming, that is nothing but coming to the neutral state, combining both. But here every symbol has a level transition in the middle from high to low or low to high. In non-return 0 level, we are considering either positive or negative only. We are using that method and also combining with return to 0. So, there are only two voltage level representation in this method, and because here we are adding return 0 for removing DC component and adding synchronization for these two methods. But internal representation of Manchester and differential Manchester is similar to adding the advantage of return 0 scheme and combining representation similar to non-return 0 level and non-return 0 inverse. So the signal representation for these two methods, 0 is always from positive to, that is high to low. 1 is from low to high. In the signal, the bit value is either 0 or 1 at any instance. You have to represent the sample in this manner only. So in Manchester, the sample is from positive to negative. And 1 is from negative to, that is high to low, low to high. And again, if that is existing in high, if that is 0, high to low. And again, if that is 0, again you have to come from high to low. And next, if that is 1, low to high. If that is 1, again you have to start from low to high. And we are coming to the differential Manchester encoding. So here inversion should exist. If there is a change in the bit signal, then there is an inversion. Initial one is same. We are starting here itself similar to 0. That is inversion to that one. So here in differential Manchester encoding, different to these two is, here when the bit value is 0, there is no signal change. Signal should exist in the same manner, that is we are considering inverse to that is the non-return 0 level. So here we are representing if there is no signal change, continuous. If there is no signal change. There is a signal change means when the bit value that is coming from 0, this is 0. When that is coming from 0 to 1, there is a signal change. So, we are representing the signal changes with solid. If there is no signal change, that is 1 bit. So, when the bit value changed from 1 to 0, there is a signal change. If the bit values are continuous, there is no signal change. So, signal changes are represented with 0 bit, solid zeros, and no signal changes are with empty zeros. In Manchester and differential Manchester encoding, the transition at the middle of the bit is used for synchronization. That is, we are changing the signal. That is not continuously, sample is not static, either only in positive or only in negative. If we are altering the signal, that should come from high to low or low to high. Automatically there is a synchronization. We can easily evaluate, and also the processor can identify the bit value easily. The minimum bandwidth of Manchester and differential Manchester encoding is 2 times that of non-return 0. Okay, already we have seen previously. Non-return 0, that is there is no sample change. If that is positive 0, there is negative 1. Sample is same. But here that sample should undergo to 2 change alterations in sample. So for that one, that is occupying double the bandwidth than the initial one. There is no DC component and no baseline wandering. So none of these codes has, but these codes should not have any error detection methods. So for that one, we are going to the next method, bipolar coding methods. Bipolar coding methods. This is a better alternative to non-return 0. Has no DC component or baseline wandering. Has no self-synchronization because long runs of zeros result in no signal transition. but no error detection. Next, coming to but commonly we are using in the previous line coding methods, that is polar and bipolar. We are not using bipolar methods. Always we are using the methods that are polar, differential, or Manchester encoding methods at current for the signal, digital signal representation. Next, coming to the block coding methods. Block coding methods can prevent the disadvantages of previous methods. The previous polar coding methods can allow the signal representation using non-return 0 or return 0 or using the combination of both two for Manchester and differential Manchester encoding methods. But any one of those methods cannot prevent the disadvantage of error detection and correction. Those methods can assist for self-synchronization and removing self-synchronization. But how can we prevent the disadvantage of error detection and correction? That is, if there are any errors in transmission, how can we identify and correct? When we are coming to the block coding methods, these can provide error detection and correction methods, including synchronization. So, we are migrating from normal coding methods to block coding, line coding methods. For a code to be capable of error detection, we need to add redundancy bits, that is the duplicate bits to the actual data bits, that is extra bits to the data bits. Synchronization also requires redundancy. Redundancy transitions are important in signal flow and must occur frequently. Block coding is done with 3 steps. So here we are adding the redundant bits, means redundant bits can always assist in identifying the errors in transmissions, because when a bit value that has been altered in transmission, automatically redundant bit value can be changed. So if the redundant bit is changed, we can easily identify which bit that has been altered in transmission, which consists of errors. So for that one, we are adding the redundant bits. So are important in signal flow and must occur frequently. Block coding is done in 3 steps: division, substitution, and combination. So best example for block coding error detection, that is CRC. We are performing a binary division and substituting that value by adding as redundant bit the remainder value to the actual value and combining those and send to the receiver, and at the receiver end again we are decoding. If the remainder we can get 0, there is no error. If the remainder we can get other than 0, then easily we can consider by converting that value binary into decimal, and which decimal value we are obtaining, that bit in data stream that has been corrupted. So that is how we can identify errors in data transmission. So the methods we are using in this block coding is division, substitution, and combination. That is, combination means combination of both. It is distinguishable from multi-level coding by use of the slash. The resulting bit stream prevents certain bit combinations that, when used with line coding, should result in DC components or poor synchronization. So this can prevent from synchronizations and also, that is the poor synchronizations, and also DC components, that is continuous bit streams consisting of the same value. Block coding is normally referred to as MB by NB coding, that is the normal, this is the actual bit and this is the added bit. M bits are the actual data, we are adding extra bits to construct a n bit stream using block coding. It replaces each m bit group with an n bit group. So this is the representation in block coding. Division of a stream into m bit groups, that is data stream that has been divided into partitions, either 8-bit partition or 16-bit partition. At maximum we are considering 16-bit. So replacing those with either 4-bit stream also. So here we are considering a substitutor, considering input, that is m bits, and adding the redundant bits, constructing an n-bit pattern, and reproduce that and combine and send. So combining n-bit groups and reconstructing a data stream. So here the number of bits are m bits, here the redundant bits are added. But these redundant bits addition, that depends on the user or the system. That is which method we have to use. Either we are inversing these bits and adding extra bits, or actually considering those bits and adding or appending the extra bits. So here block diagram, 4-bit by 5-bit encoding using non-return 0 inverse encoding, and there is a digital signal link, non-return 0 inverse decoding, and here removing the redundant bits and again reconstructing the 4 bits. So these are the example replacements for the actual data stream. Consists of 4-bit sequences, replacing those with 5-bit sequences by using inverse method. And these are control sequences, means for example, in our application languages we are using some of the reserved words which should not be used as variable names in variable declarations or some other. That is, reserved means we should use for a specific purpose. And similarly here also we are using these codes specifically for control information in data transmissions. These codes should not be used in encoding sequences. Other than these, we have to use the encoding sequences, but 5-bit pattern only. 4 bits represented with 5 bits, etc. in different manners, that is 8 bits, maybe 9 or 10 bits, etc. Without using these 5-bit patterns for controlling information, we can use other representations for bit encoding. So 4-bit blocks, after constructing these 4-bit blocks into 5-bit blocks, that is, this 4-bit block is converted to 5-bit block by inserting a 0 in 4th place. And similarly here we can use different types of approaches for encoding. Inversion approaches, XOR approaches, addition approaches, etc. So this is used inverting and adding 0 to this one, etc. Different methods. Here we can use any one of it for reproduction. Next, redundancy. A 4-bit data word can have 24 combinations. A 5-bit data word can have 25 equal to 32 combinations. 4-bit data word means here we are considering combinations of 4-bit data words. And here combination 4-bit data words represent 24, 5-bit means 2 power 5, that is 32 combinations. So therefore we have 32 minus 26 equal to 16 extra words. Some of these extra words are used for control and signaling purpose, and remaining we can use for encoding the data. So this is how we can perform different types of block, that is block coding using 4-bit to 5-bit pattern, and what are the different types of line coding methods in digital transmission, how is digital signal that has been represented in a digital form, in a signal format, by using different types of line coding approaches, but currently in digital transmissions the line coding methods we are using, those are nothing but Manchester and differential Manchester line coding methods, which are preventing both the disadvantages, that is the disadvantages of DC component and base serial wandering, but those are not providing any error detection. So we are going to the block coding methods currently we are using. Those are preventing both the disadvantages and allowing synchronization and error detection. So this is up to today's class. So digital to digital transmission is completed, and the next chapter, that is analog to digital transmission, we can see tomorrow.